What is going on, everybody? Michael Sparacino here, bringing to you episode 2 of Pucks and Brews. And without any further ado, Woj, show our viewers on YouTube what unsponsored brew you have for us today.
Of course.
How would you rate that beer out of 1 out of 10? Or sorry, how would you rate that brew out of 1 out of 10? Got to keep it going. Got to keep the brew.
Every single one is 10 out of 10.
All right.
Especially Corona, because Vin Diesel said so. And Fast and Furious.
Corona is the one where it pushes it to like maybe a 12 to 10.
12.
That's the funny thing about Corona. I feel like, is there really any difference between Corona Extra, Corona Light, and Corona Premier? Honestly, I think Corona Premier is the best out of all of them. That's just my personal preference. Throw a lime in there, baby, and you're set.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a big difference between any. I have to have all three all at once and figure it out.
But next time, try Corona Premier if you're gonna grab a Corona. I feel like that one's the best. But
well, hold on. Now that you guys are talking, everybody listening or watching at home, if you drink, crack open a brew, whether that be a beer or a coffee, because I don't drink, and a coffee is technically a brew. So crack one open, start drinking it, enjoy yourself, and let's jump right into this big blockbuster trade that just happened between the Blue Jackets and the Winnipeg Jets.
It's like Blockbuster, like 2020, that no one goes to. Not Blockbuster, circa 2006.
Blockbuster was the shit back in the day.
Yeah, now it's not. No one uses it.
Yeah,
this trade wasn't even that like sick. It was like a swap, and then Roslovic for like a 6th-round pick. I thought it'd be way bigger.
Well, the only reason I'm calling it a blockbuster is it literally involves a former 2nd and 3rd overall pick along with another first rounder.
Yeah, it's true.
So just quickly, the Winnipeg Jets send Patrick Laine and Jack Roslovic to the Columbus Blue Jackets in exchange for Pierre Luc Dubois and a 2022, 3rd-round pick. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Like short term, Blue Jackets easily won this trade.
Yeah.
Long term, it's going to be determined.
Yeah, because neither of them are going to stay there. Line A, maybe. Happen. I don't know if Dubois would stay.
And there was all these things about he didn't want to play for Torts, which ended up not being true. He wanted to get out of a small market into a bigger market. Who knows if that's true or not, because he just got dealt to a small market.
Yeah.
Brendan, what are your thoughts on this?
Shades. Jesus, I guess I'm not really shocked Dubois traded, especially considering he was getting kind of buried by Torts, and I don't know if the GM was.
Well, that was his own fault.
True, but also Shades. He did score the game winner the game before, and then literally plays 2 minutes, 3 minutes in the first period of the next game. So, I think it's a little bit of both, honestly. Just going off of past experience for how Torts has done some of the Rangers players in the past, I think it's a little bit of both.
Did you see that isolated shift that was posted on Twitter?
Yeah, it wasn't. He didn't give a lot of effort, Shades. I'm not disagreeing that he didn't have anything to do with it. I'm just saying it could have been from both ways. I feel like.
Also, I've noticed that, like Brent, you probably noticed when you played in high school, but like if you don't go out there a certain number of times within a period or a game, you're like. I'm not saying like you're all over the place like him, but it's like kind of hard to get into the game. It's like it's pretty tough because you're not in the mix. You're not like getting thrown in there. You've been sitting on the bench for most of the game, so it's
it's actually a guy obviously of his skill caliber as well.
Yeah.
To go from playing a lot of ice time and then next thing you know you're playing 2 minutes a period. How much impact can you really make? Honestly, that's exactly. What 2 shifts, 2 minutes, and that's pushing it.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm not, I guess from Winnipeg's standpoint, Laine is a guy that's also been in trade talks for a while, I felt like over the last couple of seasons. So I guess from Winnipeg's standpoint, I'm not really shocked to see him going.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I don't think Columbus really needs wingers per se. So I don't know. But I guess Winnipeg's center depth is kind of good now, adding Dubois.
Yeah, Shifley, Dubois,
Stastny.
But if you're asking me who wins the trade, I would probably say Columbus.
Yeah, because they got 2 guys back that go right into the top 6.
Well, yeah,
just because you're adding. I guess the biggest question mark is okay. is there going to be a similar situation with Laine, who's not really known, I guess, to give the he's been criticized in the past for very similar things, effort level and, his consistency as well. But I mean, you're adding a goal scorer to the lineup. So, and I think Columbus needs one.
Laine's 22 and he's already scored 30 goals 3 times. Like, how rare that is?
Yeah, he's he's very talented at scoring goals. So yeah, I'm not denying that.
And they also get a pretty good player in Jack Roslovic too. So I think this could really help Columbus.
Yeah, I think if we're picking an outright winner to the team, I feel like to the trade, I would probably say Columbus. And also just to add to the past, I mean, just because of Dubois' experience in Columbus, that doesn't mean that star guys don't get along with Torts. I mean, he was the coach of Vancouver and he got along just fine with the Sedin twins all those years. So
yeah, it's tough. Some guys like him, some guys don't.
Didn't Tortorella coach Vancouver for like half a season?
No, I think it was a little bit longer.
I remember that. I remember it being like a cup of coffee for him.
Well, either way,
this is a couple years ago now, so
yeah.
Like, wow, I don't remember what the hell happened last week.
Way to fucking call me out. The only reason I said that is just because I was literally listening to a podcast earlier and they mentioned it.
Of course.
But, yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts on the trade anyway. Do I really give 2 shits about the trade? Not necessarily, because I don't really care about either.
I got 2 of those 3 guys on my fantasy team. I care a lot.
You're not going to win.
Well, we'll see. Listen, Columbus has been playing pretty decent, so I'm interested to see what happens. But I guess they probably won't play for next couple of games anyway, due to like travel or whatever the COVID,
I think Roslovic has to quarantine for a week with I think it was 4 negative tests, and I think Dubois has to quarantine mandatorily for 2 weeks because. Yeah, Canada.
Yeah, they got their own rules up there.
Yeah, but they better safe than sorry. So, but I just can't wait until Laine scores, like does something like Anisimov, and then Torch is just like, nope, I'm done with this guy.
Yeah, he's gonna be sitting on the bench with the Game Boy Advance in his hand. He's like, Torch, come on, I can't go on right now.
That's Game Boy Advance. That's a throwback.
Yeah.
Good times though. Did you guys have the Game Boy Advance SP or no?
Yep.
Oh, dude, I still have that. I busted that out like last year. Good times. Good times.
Hell yeah. Because if playing it on Game Boy Advance, it all makes sense. No, it was NHL 2002. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I just froze for a second, so I missed what you guys said, but
let's move on from this trade. I'm sick of hearing about it.
But short term, Columbus wins. Long term, to be determined. I think we all can agree on that one. So let's move into the Rangers games, where I mean, this is what this podcast is all about. But when there's huge breaking news, we got to talk about it. Obviously, we're a hockey podcast, for God's sake. But 3 games, 3 losses, 1 point, a lot of good play, a lot of bad results. Hey, there was come on, don't give me that face. They played pretty good considering.
I'd rather be watching the Texas Rangers right now, not the New York Rangers.
I hate baseball, so I could slap you for that right now.
I think we played better out of the 3 games. We definitely played better against Pittsburgh. We played okay against Jersey. I mean, we put up a lot of shots, obviously. I mean, we know the story going into that game was the Devils. They hadn't given up an even strength goal, which is just ridiculous considering it's the Devils. But they've been good defensively. They block a lot of shots, and they're also playing without Heischer, and they're playing without somebody else too. I'm gonna go to the notes because I wrote it down. They were playing out. They're also playing without Jesper Bratt. So those are 2 of their better guys as well. So the fact that they're playing good without them is going to be interesting when they add those 2 guys back into the lineup.
Yeah, and
but
Lindy Ruff, he's got a well-oiled machine going there so far.
everybody's buying into the Dan Girardi mentality. Just block shots. I mean, listen, they blocked a shit ton of shots, and they still gave up 50 shots that game. But Blackwood was obviously the difference maker in that one.
Yeah.
Did you guys have anything else to take away from that Devils game other than Jack Hughes just completely dominating us?
Good.
Yeah, Jack Hughes does look good.
Not really. I mean, that's all you can really say is that Blackwood stole that game. Like, there's always like an old, not saying, but it's like for every 10 shots, like one's bound to go in. Like every coach told you that. And it's like, yeah, that works. But against this game, it's like, okay, cool. We put up 50 shots. We should get 5 goals. No, we have like 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still close, but like he went in there and he dogged us. And I mean, I don't know, would you consider a 2 for 6 power play good? Or what we have, should we have done better?
I feel like we.
Sorry, go
Shades,
ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead, Shades.
Okay, well, I mean, 2 for 6, that's 33%. So I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's not
I'd
good.
say that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, my math's not there yet. It's a little late for this, but.
Listen, yes, 6 power plays, so that's just insane in the first place.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think, and I guess it's not making much of a convincing case because I don't think the power play was much better against Pittsburgh, but I think we have a slightly better power play when we have Tony in the lineup, and he wasn't in the lineup for the second game in a row against the Devils. I thought to add defensively, I thought that was probably not a good follow-up game from Trouba, considering how well he played against the Islanders. That's something I wrote down. He was on the ice for a lot of the goals that were scored. But I think the biggest thing, too, is very similar to the first game we played of the season. We just got off to a slow start, gave up an early goal, and whenever we give up that early goal, it's never good. And it was the same thing when we had Lundqvist in net. We kept giving up early goals, and it's hard to fight back when you're down 30 seconds into the game. And I just feel like we can't continue to do that, getting ourselves buried in early holes again.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's going to be that's a losing. That's just the strategy for losing.
Yeah, you basically stole the words right out of my mouth there. But yeah, no, that first 10 minutes did us in. If they would have played pretty much any better, they probably would have won that game.
Yeah,
but I just a few quick thoughts from that game.
Oh wait, real quick, Brennan, who's a more disappointing number 8 in New York, Daniel Jones or Jacob Trouba?
I think you guys know my answer.
You're a Jets fan.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't even get into this, Woj. I'll go on a rant for like that. We'll have to keep this for another day.
All right.
But just a few quick thoughts. 1, leave it to Kreider to score his first goal of the season on a centering pass that's going away from the net. 2, leave it to Zibanejad to score a wicked power play goal. Wicked angle power play goal.
Yeah, he botched that shot. Lucky that would
he probably wouldn't even have scored if that was a regular shot.
Anyway, leave it to Zibanejad to score a wicked angle power play goal and just pretty much have a mediocre game. And what was the other thing? Oh, yeah. Georgiev didn't really look so good. He gave up 4 goals on, I think, 20 shots. Shesty came in, stopped all 8 shots. But Hedl scored. And, dude, he's looked pretty good so far. But when we get to the third game against Pittsburgh, not so good news. So let's move into the first game against Pittsburgh. Did I just say third game against Pittsburgh?
You did, but I know
third game,
the
second game against Pittsburgh, third game of this span in which we're talking about.
There you go.
The first game against Pittsburgh, I mean, let's just get right to it. What was that shootout decision by Quinn? How do you not put Hedl as the third shooter in the shootout when he beat Jerry cleanly twice and scored once? I understand why he did it, but sometimes you got to think with your gut and not go via stats.
Oh, I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, it's.
Where did you think I was going to go with
that's
that?
One of those.
I don't know.
That's
no comment.
That's one of those ones I agree, Shades. I feel like you got to go with the flow of the game. In that situation, Hedl had been probably one of the most dominating players in that game. And honestly, we could have really won with anybody from that third line. They were all buzzing. But I agree. I probably would have put Hedel in that situation just because of that filthy goal he scored earlier, one-hand tuck. But yeah, I think Shades, I think they went strictly based on the fact that Tony had been shooting for us in a lot of the shootouts and he had a higher percentage. And I just felt like they were like, okay, based off of that, it's a good chance I'll score. And obviously he didn't, and we lost. So,
Yeah,
I mean, oh, go ahead, go ahead, Woj.
No, you can finish up.
No, I was gonna circle back, so I'm ready.
Yeah, no, but going back to last year, he was a lot better in the shootouts. But I mean, new year, you already had to bench him once and sit him out. I don't know. I don't think right now he has it. It may take him a little while to get back to his old self or a better Tony DeAngelo. But I think, yeah, at that point you have to go with Hedel. I mean, just throwing someone in there that's cold that looks like he hasn't had it so far these past few games this season, I think it was the wrong decision.
Yeah. And I was going to say, just to circle back on to the start of that game, obviously we had scratched Brendan Smith and we had inserted Tony D into the lineup, which I didn't really necessarily have an issue with Tony D going back into the lineup, but I had more of an issue with Smith coming out, considering how well he's played this season. And I guess even more questionable was why Smith and not Johnson. And I think a lot of people were asking that question. That's probably why Johnson came out in the third game, in the next game against Pittsburgh. But yeah, Shades, what do you have to add to that?
The thing that infuriates me about that decision was Quinn said that Johnson was solid. I read that. I didn't even click on the video, but somebody quoted him and typed it out, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to scroll past this, because if I actually try and listen to this, I will lose my shit. And yeah, but
I don't think that he's been terrible, Johnson.
No,
I just felt like
he had one game where he was okay. The other games he's played, he has not been good at all.
I don't think he was that bad in the first game against Pittsburgh. I mean, okay, the goal they did score, the first goal.
That was his best game.
That was, oh, you're talking about the first game against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, where Johnson actually didn't look terrible. He didn't look terrible. But the other games he did. But,
I just feel like in terms of having an impact on the game, I think personally I'd rather have, if it's between him and Tony DeAngelo, I'd rather have Tony DeAngelo in the lineup. One, because I feel like when it comes to being a difference maker, Tony D can be the difference maker when he's playing well. It just, we haven't seen him get to what he has been in the past. But I don't know. I feel like I'd rather have Tony D, and also based on just the extension in general, we pay Tony D all this money now, so let's not bench him now. I just feel like based off of that, I mean, it sounds silly, but I think I'd rather see him play than sit, because to me that's more aggravating, him being on the bench. And one, it's like, listen, if he's not playing well and we have to throw him out there, because if you want to trade him, sitting his ass down isn't going to do anything either. So
I was gonna say, I saw a few things online where it's more of what's his name, Jacques Martin, the assistant coach, defensive coach, whatever. They said it's more of his decision on who sits and who goes on the defense. So it may not necessarily be Quinn, but I don't know how that dynamic works, if he has final say in the day game roster. But if it's,
and that would make sense.
Yeah, if it's Jacques Martin, then I mean, I don't know. We don't really know too much about him. It's his first year, but.
Well, that would make sense though as to why he would favor playing Johnson considering he's had him he's had him with Pittsburgh in the past. Yeah. But I mean, a big takeaway I thought from, at least, even though we ended up losing that game in the shootout, like we said, I mean, obviously the third line of Hedel, Di Giuseppe, and Kakko has been really good.
Yeah, actually, Di Giuseppe, he debuted this season against the Devils, right?
I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, he didn't play against the Islanders. He did not start against the Islanders in the first game, but I'm pretty sure he actually played in the second game against the Islanders, the second game of the season. I'm pretty sure he was inserted into the lineup that game.
No, he's been a good spark in the lineup so far. He's got a little chemistry going with Hedel and Kakko.
And you know why? It's because he skates.
Yeah.
It's because he skates, and we're talking about why are we struggling so much, and it really comes down to the top six not showing up. I mean, obviously the goaltending hasn't been the sharpest. I thought even last night, especially, we'll talk about that in a second, but I think the biggest concern over the last couple games is the top six. I mean, Zibanejad hasn't really been playing well. Strome has been not that good either. Kreider not doing much out there. So that Buchnevich has been playing well, so I don't want to
you've been doing
categorize
great,
him in
dude.
those.
Yeah, you've been doing
great
Brendan.
job, bro.
Listen, baby.
You're playing for the Rangers and helping us out on this podcast. What a guy.
I'm classic. I'm classic. I get out there, I get like 1,500 chances. I'll bury one occasionally. Most of the time I can't score, but listen, I'll score and then I'll come on the pod and talk about it with the boys.
Dude, your English is getting a lot better.
Yes, and your accent too. Holy crap.
Yes. Whatever, what can I say, boys?
I think we might actually I think we might have the best fourth line in the league if we have Rooney, Di Giuseppe, and Blackwell out there. Or not Giuseppe, whoever else. Fill somebody else in on the left side, but.
Well, I was going to say to add into the next game.
One before you say that, face-offs were a major problem.
I wasn't looking at that.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
that was like the one glaring weakness, but surprisingly, we played pretty damn well despite losing that many face-offs. Which
Shade, this is a point I actually want to bring up because we're going to talk about the fourth line in a second. But I wonder if face-offs is part of the reason why, other than the fact that we don't really have anybody else to play center. But I feel like that's part of the reason why Howden also sticks around in the lineup, because he actually is good at face-offs.
Yeah,
I mean, he's winning around 50% of his face-offs for the season, which is not that impressive, but still, I always try to think, like, not shitting on Bert Howden, but I feel like I always question sometimes. I'm like, why is Howden in the lineup? But he actually played great yesterday, so I don't want to shit on him. But
yeah,
I was gonna say, going into this next game against Pittsburgh, another lineup decision. So we got Jack Johnson out, Brendan Smith in, and now we got Brendan Lemieux out, and we got Colin Blackwell in for his first game with the Rangers. What were your initial thoughts on that, honestly?
Go ahead,
Woj.
Well, I know you were pissed off about Lemieux not being able to get in, but I did see that they wanted to play Blackwell because they want to get him the expansion number. Like they want to get the players 20-something games or whatever, just to make sure he clears the cut.
Yeah, I did see that. I also saw, I think I saw it earlier today. We're recording on Monday, by the way, that David Quinn took Lemieux out of the lineup because of the slew foot tripping penalty he took the first game against Pittsburgh. So I was just like, okay, you know what?
That might just been a fucking throwaway reason just to be like, let me just tell them this. And then he also did say again about like scratching somebody for that expansion thing. But who knows what he chose to do.
But hey, I mean, if you're gonna send a message to a guy who takes a terrible penalty, I mean, that is a warranted decision. So I can't get too mad about that after the fact.
I had two initial thoughts on it. Well, I'll get to Lemieux in a second, but first I was like, Smith, okay, I'm happy he's back in the lineup. And I think we finally got what we wanted in Johnson being out of the lineup. And I thought we played better defensively. I don't think it had anything specifically to do with him being out necessarily, but I felt like we looked better on defense. Miller played a really good game. Fox, obviously. But I initially with the Lemieux thing, I was like, wow, I was surprised because Lemieux was playing. He actually was playing good. He played good against the Devils. He seemed like he was playing better. So I was shocked, but I did joke around. And I was like, honestly, if Colin Blackwell is anything like he is in NHL 21, I think we'd be in good hands because holy shit, he's nasty in online versus. I had to add that in. And sure enough, dude, he fucking flies around the ice. And honestly, I think it's going to be too early to say, but having him on that fourth line could actually be a game changer because they were flying, dude. That was the best I've seen the fourth line look in a while. Yeah. And same thing with Rooney, who thank God we managed to come back from he can skate, and I think that's the biggest reason that we're seeing more production from the depth of the lineup is because honestly, they're just skating harder than the top 6.
Yeah, those two ended up being pretty damn good under the radar signings by Gordon so far.
And it's because they skate, Shades, and that's the biggest thing right now we're seeing, especially with that second line. I mean, listen, if you watch Panarin, even back to when he played against Chicago, when he played with Chicago, he never really he just never looks like he's giving any effort, and that's just his style because the game just comes to him. Like that's the way he plays. It's like he's basically Russian Patrick Laine. But I don't know. I feel like the biggest thing is even with Strome, I just feel like he's not skating fast enough, and it's the same thing with Lafreniere as well. He just does not look like he has the legs so far, and obviously he's a rookie, so he gets an excuse. But I feel like if we were to evaluate him so far, I feel like that would be my biggest takeaway is just that he doesn't look like he's skating hard enough.
Yeah, him getting put on that line with Kreider and Zibanejad, that honestly that ended up being a bad decision. Because I mean, thanks, Woj. But now Kreider has been, let's call it how it is. Kreider's been terrible so far this season, and Zibanejad has been mediocre.
Yeah,
Lafreniere's 19. He's playing his first games. That's not going to help him.
No, I mean I'm not blaming him at all.
Oh no,
I was just saying.
Yeah.
No. I'm just
saying it turned out to be a bad decision.
Definitely.
But no, this is actually one time where I'm not blaming David Quinn. So,
I was going to say first, this is kind of like a little off topic, but when it comes to Kreider, would you rather have him don't think about the money, think of it like it's like a good contract. Would you rather have Kreider resign, or would you rather have Kevin Hayes? Specifically asking you because.
Well, I mean, look what Kreider's done since that extension. It hasn't been all that great, but I also don't want to be paying Hayes $7 million.
No, I said contracts don't matter. We pay him like he would take
contracts don't matter. At this point, I would probably take Hayes.
Yes, all right, got him.
I would take. Woj just wanted that for pure satisfaction.
Well, dude, you got to remember,
obviously, if you're asking me,
Hayes actually developed into a pretty solid defensive center as well.
Yeah.
So.
He'd be a step
in terms of what we need now, obviously we need it. We need a Kevin Hayes big time. But yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean, continuing with this game against Pittsburgh, so Colin Blackwell ends up scoring, and holy shit, that was a nasty deflection goal.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, I felt like we could be a Ranger bias in me, but I felt like we actually played solid this entire game. And I don't know. I felt like we locked it up pretty good too. Like we didn't give up many good chances. I mean, Shesty had some good saves. I guess another thing I want to talk about was obviously we end up blowing the game in the last we blow a 1-goal lead going into the third period, right? We had a 1-goal lead or 2-goal lead. That was the first game.
First game was 2-goal. The second one was 1-goal.
So we end up giving up the goal to Gensel in the last minute and a half, and it was definitely an interesting goal. I was just I kind of one of those ones where I don't even really know how it went in, considering Shesterkin looked like he was literally looking at him when he shot it. But I don't know. There was somebody backdoor, so I couldn't tell. Was his eyes kind of there? I don't know. What were your guys' thoughts on how that game ended? I mean, obviously we were all fucking pissed because they lost, but
dude, more than anything, that was just heartbreaking. More than frustrating and aggravating, just because you knew they played well for 2 straight games, and just to not be rewarded for it, especially to lose the way they did, with Shesterkin not looking good. It was just, oh man, I was just upset. I wasn't even mad.
Yeah, and the turning point to that game too is obviously Hedl had been so dominant, especially in that game. He was just all over the place, and then he ends up getting hurt, just a freak play. There was an offside, and the guy ends up running into him, and he was banged up too.
It was Tom Ruhwedel, right? Is that his first name?
I don't remember who ran into him.
Yeah, he ran into Ruhwedel. I remember because I was just yeah, Ruhwedel's a weird name. No offense. I know.
I mean, honestly, if that wasn't offsides, he probably would have got crushed on that. Considering he came across the ice to hit him. But either way, it was like a freak play. I don't know I didn't even know what was the actual injury. I'm just going to assume they're going to say lower body injury.
No, it was upper body. They confirmed that.
Oh, it was upper. So it was maybe his shoulder then.
It could.
So,
I don't know. Could have been his wrist because he was holding his like forearm area. Jesus, I can't talk right now.
That's probably the biggest thing for me is like, wow, on top of the loss and obviously losing Hedel, we won't know until he gets evaluated what the extent of the injury is going to be. But let's just hope for the sake of this team moving forward this year is that's definitely a guy we can't afford to lose, especially at center. So
yeah, I think that so I came home late, so I caught like the last half of the third period, and I saw it was like we shut them down, and they had maybe 3 shots within the whole third period at one point, and it was like within a few minutes left. So we definitely locked them up, but it's just Shesterkin lets in those 2 weird goals that just somehow squeak through.
Yeah, I mean that second goal was that second goal was ridiculous. I mean, that's just kind of lucky. Like I don't know if I really blame him on that one. It's just kind of like a freak play. The third one, he probably should have had that one for sure, considering he was looking at it. But here's the thing with Shesty too, is like we've really only seen him play good. So he's gonna have these games. Like he's just a normal like all goalies have these games, dude. The best of all time, Lundqvist. How many games did he have like this? So I'm not panicking. I'm not panicking about his play, honestly, because I feel like we've yet to really see him play bad games because he's only played good ones, really.
Yeah.
Especially last year. Okay, maybe not so much in the playoffs, but that was a whole other thing considering we were already getting destroyed. But I feel like we'll probably see a little more normalcy from him this year. Whereas, he's not always going to be that ridiculous, dude. Like, it's just not always going to be like that.
Yeah, so people got to remember that was literally like his 15th game in the NHL.
Yeah, he was 10-3 at the start.
Yeah, and he's still technically a rookie. So Rangers Twitter was losing their shit the other night, and I'm just like, relax. Just relax.
That's a big. I'm not panicking about that. I just feel like that's at this point, like we haven't seen any of these games until now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not singling you out. I'm talking about Rangers Twitter, those idiots over there.
And I think, like, listen, if it's about how he rebounds from these types of games, and that will really tell if he's going to be real or not.
I just called people idiots. Go ahead, cancel me.
Done. No, but I think what they got to do is just give Shesterkin the next 3 to 5 games and let him work it out and find his groove.
Definitely, because right now, it could be a confidence thing, and just the more he plays in there, I feel like, listen, he'll start dominating again. I'm not worried.
Yeah.
We also, but like you said earlier, we need to see the top 6 start putting it together here because they've just been.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if we're going to put it together against any team, let's get it together against Buffalo, even though they haven't been too terrible. But like, let's just come on, let's get the win. Like we need the top 6 to have a good game. I'm more concerned about them right now than anything, to be honest. But let's hope they have a better game because we need them to play better. Because right now I'm not concerned about the depth, and I'm not even necessarily concerned about the defense right now because of how Miller's been playing, and I feel like Fox has obviously been playing good, but I think we need to hopefully see Tony start playing better. But the biggest concern for me moving forward to the next game against Buffalo is definitely top 6 in the next couple games, but especially this next game because they're in a drought and it's dragging us down.
Yeah, dude, don't forget Lindgren has low-key been very solid so far. Especially, I think it was the second game against Pittsburgh. He looked great. Like, guys tried to get past them. He just said, nope, and just made the other team lose the puck. And, dude,
there's a lot of bad puck luck. Even in that second game, the first game against Pittsburgh. I mean, he dives down on that one play, and it, like, goes into, like, I don't know, it was a weird, and then like even when they tied it up, it's like guy takes a slap shot, it bounces off the boards, like, and it goes right to the guy in Pittsburgh. Like the Rangers didn't have the puck luck, but I agree with you in the sense, Shades, like maybe in the Devils game we didn't play good defensively, but I don't even think the defense has been the issue. And and that's kind of a relief considering that was the biggest question mark along with the depth. So we're getting some early answers, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, no, the defense hasn't been the main issue. Have they had their moments of what the hell happened? Yes. But no, I think the main issue has been I want to say, play inconsistency of the top six, because the bottom six, they've been good. This is as good as they've looked in a while, which is lovely to see, especially after how terrible they were last season. And that's really about it for this episode. I mean, we got 3 games coming up against two of them are the Sabres, and the third one on Saturday is against the Pittsburgh Penguins again. What do you guys expect from these 2 games against Buffalo?
You really want to know?
Yeah, I really want to know. What do you think?
Okay.
That's why I asked the question, Woj. Come on.
Expect the loss. That's what I expect.
Brendan?
I mean,
Try and be a little more optimistic here, please.
I expect Eichel will probably have a good game against us, but I feel like if our top 6 plays good, I think we can beat them. That's what I want to expect. I want our top 6 to play better, and yeah, that's the biggest thing for me moving forward these next couple games. Is I just want to see our top 2 lines. I want to see Laugh get a point. I want to see Kreider and Zibanejad not look like they've never played hockey before, and that would be nice.
I want to see Laugh get a goal. Fuck a point. A point is an assist. Fucking, I need a goal, man. I need
I'll take anything.
Lafreniere's first NHL goal.
I'll take fucking anything at this point.
Then I'll celebrate by doing something stupid in my basement, probably. But,
to be honest with you, when they added him to the Chell roster finally for online versus, I thought he was going to take the big step. I was like, they were just waiting for him. He was just waiting for them to add him to online versus and Chell.
Yeah, get that like +6 overall next upgrade. I mean,
Hey, listen, him and Miller, they finally added them to Chell, dude. I was waiting on that for fucking months. I don't know why it took them so long.
Hey, Miller's going to be a star in this league, and I am very much looking forward to it. But in the meantime, it's his rookie season. It's Lafreniere's rookie season. 2 games against Buffalo and another game against Pittsburgh coming up this week. And to answer your question from before, what am I expecting out of these 3 games? A Lafreniere goal, for 1. 2, I expect Georgiev to start one of these 3 games minimum, just because I realistically think that's going to happen. And 3, I am expecting something very serious, gentlemen. I am expecting Chris Kreider to actually score a regular goal.
Chris was his last month, right?
Okay, you know what? Just
Nothing's
because you said
nothing's going to happen.
This is a January Christmas miracle. I got the Christmas hat right here.
Oh, God.
Kreider scoring now. There we go. Thank you, everyone, for listening to episode 2 of Pucks and Brews. I've been Michael Sparacino. Down below has been Brendan Mulroy. To my left has been... Well, to my screen left has been Brandon Wojno.
Woj,
yeah, or AKA Woj. Not that Woj, the more important one. That means you're the more important one, Woj. And
thank you.
Follow us on Twitter at Pucks and Brews, Pucks EN Brews. Follow us on Instagram at Pucks and Brews Pod, spelled normally. Hope you also find us on Facebook, like our Facebook page at Pucks and Brews. And hope you enjoyed yourself. If you cracked open a brew, hope you enjoyed the brew. And we will be back on February 3rd, next Wednesday. Hump Day. Gotta love the day. Oh, come on. That you had nothing there? You had nothing to say after that, really?
I mean, I could end with the all rights if you want.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll talk to you on, we'll see you on February 3rd, Wednesday.
To the next episode.
Episode 3 of Pucks and Brews coming Wednesday, February 3rd. Catch you later.